Hi, I'm Julie from the Transsexual of the internet, on the internet, and this is the second admin video that I've ever made, so I have quite a bit of questions and things to address, so I'll try to hurry it up. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the main admin on the Transsexual on the internet. I'm going to introduce myself in Swedish too, because a friend or fan requested that I do a few lines in Swedish to see how I sound. But I warn you, I suck at it. But hey, jag Julie, jag Bira, jag har en katt. Detta min fortsa gången tala svenska, så jag hoppas det okay. I'm sure that was horrible. I've really not spoken it much before. But yeah, in case I butchered it, or for those of you who don't speak Swedish, I just said, hi, I'm Julie, I'm 24, I have a cat. This is my first time speaking Swedish, so I hope it's okay. It's not really the first time, but the first time anybody's heard me. Okay, so, first thing, can you give a shout out to my cats? Hi cats, from Isaiah Ezekiel Mercick. Okay, anyway, so next, how do pressure cookers work? I don't understand them. I don't really know personally, I'm not an expert, but I think that they work, they like hold in the steam and that helps cook, maybe. I've only used one once and it was under supervision a long time ago, so I'm sure you can Wikipedia it though. Any confidence tips you can share? I don't think I'm that confident, but if I am confident, I guess, or when I am, I should say, it's more of, you just project yourself, don't try to make yourself out there. That doesn't mean like going all out and stuff, but don't like try to hide, don't try to because I guess it draws attention to you if you try to hide and stuff. I'd personally just be happy with who you are, just have confidence in yourself as much as you can, and it'll shine through actions, and eventually, I guess just go for it. There's really nothing I can tell you to help you that much. I'm only recently begun to get any confidence at all, and I guess it's just like what they say. You fake it till you make it, and if you try to be true to yourself, then eventually you'll get more confidence, and it'll build. So go for it, and I wish you luck. I'm sure that you'll be fine. Okay, next thing, do-it-yourself hormones. The first thing I want to say is that if there's any way that you can get hormones legitimately, I definitely would, because A, it's a legal gray area, but B, it can be extremely dangerous. Right now, I'm on do-it-yourself hormones, but I don't want to be, but it's kind of a last resort. But I do understand why sometimes that has to happen. So, with that said, the best site to order from is inhousepharmacy.biz, and it's located outside of Australia, the pharmacy, and it has its own section for transgender products. You cannot order there from Canada, I'm afraid, but if you're in the United States, Europe, or Australia, and I think Asia, even though I'm not sure, or pretty much anywhere else but Canada, you can go to them. If you're from Canada, I don't know what to tell you. I guess if you do find a pharmacy that's good that will ship to Canada, to please let me know so I can let other Canadians who might be in need know. So, throat's a little dry. I have a few things to, well, first off, the two pills that you'll need are spirulactone and estradiol. And spironolactone is a testosterone blocker. And this is new. And I would say, personally, if you're just starting out doing it yourself, you don't want to start with more than 25 to 50 milligrams a day. It can be really dangerous, hard on your liver, have a lot of health effects. Here's what the pill looks like. I'm on 100 milligrams, but that's how much I was on before I even got off hormones legitimately, so I feel pretty safe doing it. The other one is estradiol, and that's just estrogen. I'd say start off with 1 to 2 milligrams a day if you're starting it from scratch. Currently I'm on 4. But, so the main thing is that if you do it, is start that low, and every few months, 3 to 6 months I'd say, increase your dose until you're at 100 to 200 milligrams of spiro a day, and you're at 4 to 8 milligrams of estradiol a day. And I guess the main thing to do at first is just monitor your body for side effects. Like, for example, you should lose a lot of your sex drive and morning wood really fast, like within the first couple of weeks. So if that stays there, you might want to up your spironolactone a little bit. Even though don't go overboard with it. You'll also experience mood swings. If they get too intense, then you'll probably want to lower your doses a little tiny bit. Or maybe a lot, if you're taking way too much. And there are places to get blood work. I would highly, highly recommend to get blood work every at least 6 months. They usually are clinics that are located throughout the world, and they do blood work for everything. But that way you can test your levels, see if you're good or if you need to lower something or upper something. Because it can really fuck up your body if you fuck up. It can even make you go opposite. Especially if you're just taking estradiol with no testosterone blocker. If you're genetically male and you still have your testicles, which if you don't have your testicles, you don't even need to take testosterone blocker, then your body will produce more testosterone to fight the estrogen if you do too much and don't have enough testosterone blockers. So, and like I said, spiro is bad for your liver. You can't overdose on them, I don't think, but you can still get really sick. Okay, so there's a lot of sites for do-it-yourself hormones. I just started doing it about 3 months ago. It has worked pretty well, I think. But I'd go to some of them, but that's advice to get started. InHousePharmacy.biz. Okay. Uncle Black Cop asks for a definition and explanation of genderqueer. I still don't get it. Okay. So, genderqueer is... I don't completely understand it either, honestly. I'm pretty mono-sexed, I guess, would be the word. I identify as female. I don't really have much overlaying identity. But basically, I believe that genderqueer in general just means that you have more gender identity than just identifying as a male or identifying as a female. I think that it means that you may identify as both or neither, or somewhere in between, or you might identify as a woman, but you might still, like, be okay with some aspects of being a man. I wish that I could get my friend on here to explain it better, because she would know, but unluckily she lives in Chicago, and I don't really know, but all I do know is that if somebody identifies a certain way, like male, female, genderqueer, neither, third gender, bigender, I may not understand that personally, but I don't need to understand it. I just accept it as that is who they are. That's who they identify as, and if it's not hurting anybody, then I don't see any problem with it. So next one. how to help someone out of the closet or whether to try helping them at all? That's a good question. The main thing is, do they want to come out of the closet? Because if they don't want to come out of the closet, it's not your job to out them or to get them to come out of the closet. Everybody has reasons to come out when they come out. Coming out's never an easy thing for anyone. But depending on your situation, you may not be able to come out. And it sucks, but if it could loosen their job or their family and they're in a position where they can't afford to lose those things, then they may not want to come out for good reason. So I would just be careful about it. But should have grabbed water. But anyway, what I would do if they do want help coming out is ask them how they want to do it. Like, if they want you to maybe be with them when they tell friends or family or something. Or maybe, like, just be there to support them. That's really all you can do. In the end, it's their battle, and as long as you're there for them as their friend, then you're doing your job. I haven't really ever helped anyone come out before personally. Well, actually I have, but most of the advice I gave was just supporting, like, you can do it, I'm here for you. And for the most part, most of the people I know who I helped come out, it went pretty well. So I would explain the importance of pronouns and how othering affects people in the trans community. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by othering, but okay, as far as pronouns go, well, pronouns are pretty important, I think, in general, especially in some languages it may not be as important, but in English at least, like, when you refer to somebody, you talk about him or her, or he or she, or anything like that. The name is something that's very, like, sacred almost to someone. So when you're going around misgendering people using the wrong pronouns, like calling a trans woman a he or calling a trans man a she, or using their legal name even if they requested for you not to, and not just slipping it up every once in a while because you know them for a while. It happens. As long as you're trying, then I don't see a big deal. But I mean, it's kind of insulting. It kind of shows that if you don't respect somebody's pronouns, what they want to be addressed as, you're kind of just disrespecting them flat out, like saying you're invalidating them in a way, like saying you're not this person who you identify as, who your identity is. You are this person who I say you are. And obviously that's wrong. And I think it's an even bigger deal for trans people than it probably is for cis people, because it's something that we really have to deal with. Chances are, if you're cis, unless you're extremely, like, feminine-looking male or masculine-looking girl, then you're probably not going to have too much misgendering of pronouns. I mean, every once in a while you might accidentally get mammed or sirred, but usually people change it back. But as, like, a trans person, you might get, like for example, I might get, like, mammed, and then they might be like, usually I don't have too much problem with this. Every once in a while, then they'll go back and be like, oh, I'm sorry, and sir. And it's like, no, you got it right the first time. But it's an annoyance, and it's a touchy issue, so it's definitely, I think, not only the right thing to do, but the only civil and really good thing to do is to acknowledge people's self-identity and use the right pronouns. Next, why MTFs are attracted to other MTFs, male to female transsexuals. Okay, so this is kind of funny because I was talking to my girlfriend about this last night, and she happens to be a male to female transsexual. So, kind of, I guess, ironic. But, well, for one, trans people can have any sexual orientation anyone else can have. So, not all trans women are attracted to other trans women. Some trans women may be attracted only to men, trans or cis, or even just like cis men, or even just like trans men, or any combination. But I think what the question more means is how come it's like so prevalent for trans women to date and fall in love with other trans women. And I think that a big part of it has to do with simply you have a kind of relatable basis. You've been through a lot of the same stuff. You can understand each other's struggles. You understand each other's needs better. There's not as much of a gap. And I think that those little things can actually become very important in any relationship. But I mean, and also I think it's because trans people are probably going to treat other trans people as people. And I'm not saying that cis people don't, they do, definitely. I've dated some awesome cis people and friends with tons of awesome cis people. But, I mean, I guess what I'm saying when I say that is, like, you won't have, like, if you're a trans woman, for example, then if you're dating another trans person, whether it be a trans man or a trans woman, they're probably going to be less likely to mislabel you or, like, think of you as their, like, cross-dresser boyfriend or something. Which isn't really what you want your partner thinking. And mostly I just think that we get each other better, so I think that it makes for good relationships. And also because trans people are probably more likely to meet other trans people because we're in the community. So there's a higher chance of meeting somebody who's trans that you will end up becoming attracted to. Since usually out and about in the world, it's hard to meet somebody that you know is trans unless they don't pass it off. Okay, so looks like the last one. When shall we call the scientists so we can switch genitals? As soon as I have that scientific technology available, I will switch mine with any FTM who wants to. In a second. And let me refresh real quick to make sure. Yep. So, that's all of the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll probably make one again in a few weeks. So until then, stay fabulous. Bye.